Today's video is all about comparing Short Pump to Chesterfield County. And you know what, guys? I'll be honest with you. It's really not an apples to apples thing. The best way to think about it is for me to be able to give you the differences between the two. Because if you're thinking about moving to this area, this is a good way to find out. Hi, I am Sheila Grant. I am a real estate agent, and I've also lived in the Richmond area for the past 27 years. And I know it can be hard when you're moving from a completely different area and all you have is the internet to find out information. So people hire me because I've lived all over this entire area. So when I tell you about Short Pump, I'm not telling you because I read it somewhere. I'm telling you because I lived it, shopped it, drove it at the worst time of day and best time of day, and I know it inside out. And the same thing goes for Chesterfield County. Chesterfield County is where I live now. I love Chesterfield County. I might be a little partial to it, but I'm going to give you the full picture so there's no question about what we have to offer. Both of them are wonderful places to live, so let's get into it. So number one I have to break down for you is Short Pump isn't really a town. It's sort of a section of what is called Henrico County. I know it looks like Henrico County, but it's really Henrico County. I used to get that wrong when I first moved here. So it's not its own area. So if you try to look it up, you won't really find it that way. But what it is it's a community neighborhood area in the very, very western part of Henrico County. So a very long time ago, let's just say 20 years ago, at the very edge of that county, there used to be nothing but a 55-mile-an-hour road and trees as far as the eye could see, and then you would enter into a county called Goochland County. Well, ever since about 2003, that area started getting developed. And what the first thing to go in there was, it's called Short Pump Town Center. So I know if you come to the area, you're going to get to see Short Pump Town Center. And that is where so much of the shopping, dining, and all kinds of entertainment is right there in that area. And then they added West Broad Village. And then there's neighborhoods off to the sides. There's a mix of apartments. There are condos, townhouses, new construction, single family homes, a little less in supply, emergency hospitals, grocery stores of all kinds, including a Whole Foods if you love that, and also a Trader Joe's. So there's a lot there. So think of it as like a downtown hustle, a bustle shopping district. That's the best way to explain. Okay, now let's talk Chesterfield County. The entire county is 437 square miles. It is huge. It runs to the south of Richmond, all the way down to Colonial Heights, all the way west to Powhatan, and I'm trying to think of what it goes all the way east to. Hold on. Oh, I think it's the James River. Now in Chesterfield, you are going to find lots of shopping, dining, and all the things I just talked about in Short Pump, but they're much more spread out. So we have certain areas called Bon Air. That's the closest to the city of Richmond. There's restaurants, dining, shopping, housing there. Then all the way to the west, you have Westchester Commons, and that is probably our newest shopping area with lots of housing, convenient, kind of like a little downtown vibe for Chesterfield County. And then we also have Chesterfield Town Center, which is the only indoor mall in the area. Now, there used to be a couple of them, but that's the only indoor mall in the area with a couple of anchor stores, and that's been there, let me see. Whoa! It has been around since 1975. So, if you picked Chesterfield, you would be in very good shape for your shopping. Now, here's where things get a little... Remember I told you that Chesterfield County is very big? There are so many subdivisions in Chesterfield. You would really just have your pick, and we would sit down and narrow down what's most important to you, where you want to be, because there's lots of choices here. But you could also get a brand new townhome, or there are condos here, and there are many established neighborhoods that you would also maybe love as well. There are lots of new construction, like I said. There are golf course communities. And then plus we have Pocahontas State Park down here, which is awesome. If you're into biking, hiking, you name it, there's so much there. There's a lot of conservation areas in the Chesterfield area, which is awesome. And that's what I love about Chesterfield. You can be very close to the city of Richmond, and it is very convenient no matter where you are in Chesterfield. Or you can feel like you are in a completely rural setting, which is really cool. And Short Pump used to be like that about 25, 30 years ago. So you have to ask yourself, do you want a bustling, shopping, entertainment-like environment with everything you want within 5 minutes? Or do you want some trading, some conveniences for bigger homes, more variety, outdoor lifestyle, and the cost of purchasing is less in Chesterfield County? And when I meet with clients, a lot of times they'll want something in Short Pump and they'll want a garage and this and that. And I tell them, great, everybody has the reason for wanting to be somewhere, but here's the full picture. You could probably get all of that in Chesterfield. Not always, but a lot of the time. Convenience-wise, they're pretty comparable. When you're in Short Pump, you're very close to being able to get on Broad Street, and Broad Street will take you to I-64, which will take you back east to Richmond or take you west to Charlottesville. Or if you want to go south to Chesterfield, we have 288 north and south, very busy road. I like to say I am permanently stationed on that road because I take it so much for real estate. But guess what? 288 was not always there. Yes, that's right. When I moved to Virginia in 1998, your only ways to get south were Chippenham, which is Route 150, can sometimes be a slow road back to Chesterfield, or you could have I-95, or you could have I-76. I still probably pronounce it wrong. Powhite Parkway. Powhite Parkway. Anyway, those were toll roads and there was really not a lot of options. But in about 2005, 288 South opened and you could get on 288 from Broad Street in Short Pump. Boom. It would take you all the way down to Midlothian, to Hull Street, to Courthouse Road, to Iron Bridge Road, and beyond. Very, very big improvement. Now, since we are so lucky to have so many choices in this area, I feel like I have to give you some downsides, okay? So I'm somebody that drives a lot for my job, and I have clients that I help that are all over this entire area. So, what traffic is worse, Short Pump or Chesterfield? It depends. If you're going to be out at 5 o'clock, you're not going to love driving through Short Pump. You're not. And if you're also going to be out at 5 o'clock and you're driving to get to the western part of Hull Street, you're not going to like that either. So the key to all of that is knowing the back roads, knowing when to move, and just budgeting a little bit more time to be patient. Let's face it, Richmond, Virginia does not have traffic like where I'm from. I mean, it's negligible if you think about the traffic. I moved here from Pennsylvania. So it's really pleasant. So if you'd like to know more about is Chesterfield the new Short Pump, let's talk. Let's talk and see what you like best. After all, that's all that matters. Now, I've lived everywhere, so feel free to reach out to me anytime about any real estate questions whatsoever. I'd love to help you.